Great, cool. So we're at Ynyshir, of course, with my good friend Gaz.
Hey up.
Gareth Ward.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's great to be here. Great to be back again. And
very intimate, this, I like it.
yeah, I like it as well. Yeah,
never done this before.
We've never done this before. So this is the first time we've done one of these, which I'm looking forward to. Maybe for people who don't know, like, can you tell them how long we've known each other? And I mean, from the start of Sushi doing fine dining, I'd say that you were there.
I was on the beginning, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I remember being in the shit one day for some soy sauce. Somewhere.
Who are you
I can't
gonna
remember
call?
where it was now. I can't remember where it was now anyway. And we just scoured the internet for like the best soy. And I was like, I've got to get can't get it. I can't remember what it was now, but it was something we just couldn't get anymore. Well, obviously we were buying ingredients that weren't as good then, but now obviously we're buying the best. But and SushiSushi came up online, and I remember speaking to you. I think it was your business partner at the time.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't directly with you, was it?
No.
And made this contact, and I was like, oh my god, these guys can get everything. And then obviously through that, me and you hooked up, and from then it's been a beautiful relationship where you just sell me loads of fucking crap. It's class. Yeah, so it's been what, 9? It must be 9 years.
Yeah.
Now.
Do you know what I've thought of as you've mentioned that? I never went and saw anyone before that. I was like, I'm going to build a website, I'm going to put some cool stuff on it, and people will come.
Yeah.
Didn't
like
work.
Wayne's World, isn't it?
Didn't work.
Build it.
Yeah, build it.
Yeah.
And no, it didn't work. And then I thought, do you know what? We were chatting a bit on about stuff, and I saw that you started ordering a few things, and it seemed really interesting what you were doing over here. And we had a couple of other customers in Wales, and I thought, do you know what? I love a road trip. I was going to get in the car. Yeah. I'm going to have a weekend cruising around Wales. I'm going to see everybody.
Amazing.
Yeah, and you were the last stop.
Oh, thanks.
Just purely from a geographical point of view, because it's the end of the world. And I came and I ate, and it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
And then I was buzzing so much, and we were chatting about things so much, and I brought a load of gear to show you, and I think it was like 2 in the morning.
And you blew my mind.
Right, and we just ended up all the team having a taste.
Yeah,
and
I remember that. We had like a taste.
a load of beers.
Like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. We just started tasting loads of stuff.
Yeah.
Then I went to bed and didn't sleep because I was just like, fuck, no, I've just got loads of stuff in my head that I can't stop thinking about.
Yeah, definitely.
No,
It opened my mind as well too.
Changed the whole menu the next day, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
It's great because from my point of view, you know, because traveling to Japan and speaking to like producers and suppliers and stuff like that, I'm looking at all this cool stuff, but if there's no one who's interested at our end, then I can't do it.
No.
So I need people who care enough to want to get into it as much as I am.
Yeah,
really.
I'm hooked, like you. Like, I mean,
Sorry.
I was always into it anyway, but you just took it to a different level for me. And yeah, I was just like hooked. You were my pusher. You know what I mean? And it's been like that ever since, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Love
it. Yeah, I just can't get enough of it. And it's always been that, what I loved is that we've grown together. That's what I've loved. So I've always been like, I want the best soy sauce in the world. So you've gone and found it. It's not like, oh, well, that's what we do. We ain't got any better than that. That's just what we do. You know what I mean? And then now even still, you're still searching for a better one. Even though...
not just soy sauce.
Yeah,
I don't even know what I don't know.
Exactly.
Until I find it out.
Exactly, and it's like, like what I've always loved about you is that you've got the same passion for our industry as like we have. So you want to grow all the time. It's not just like, there's a list of stuff I sell. That's it, I'm done now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do anything else. It's like you still want to grow and you still want to learn and you still want to progress like we do. So you just want to keep going with us. As restaurants, I mean. And yeah, it's class because it's just like constantly, you're always saying, oh, I've got this and it's fucking amazing. Like this new rice vinegar or this new mirroring, or you need to move on. You need to stop using it. I'm not even going to sell you that mirroring anymore now. You're not having it. You're having this one instead. I ain't got a choice. You know what I mean? The boys are like, what's this, chef? I'm like, fuck no, just go with it. Just roll with it. Fucking Sue, she says we need to use it. That's what it's like, isn't it? But obviously I trust you 100% that is going to be better than the last one.
Yeah.
So that's a massive part of like, it's a massive tool of your kitchen that is not normal. I'm very fortunate to have like lots of brilliant suppliers that I have an incredible relationship with, and like it's very similar now to what you do. Like I'm constantly searching for better for me. I
would say that's a big thing about Ynyshir in general, is that it is very supplier focused.
Very, very supplier
Obviously
focused.
You're the talisman and everyone knows you, and obviously the team here. But like most restaurants, it's about the chef.
Yeah.
And they put the food up. But I think you showcase suppliers, and not just food suppliers like us, but like the people who make the tables,
crockery, wood, craftsmen, everything. Yeah, it's all about craftsmanship and passion, and you know, and ingredients and produce and materials. I get people come in the kitchen all the time and go, "Oh my God, the food's amazing." I'm like, I can't believe, how do you do it? I'm like, it's easy. And they're like, "Oh," and they start laughing, going, "Oh, I bet you always say it's easy." It is, but like, if I go to one of my suppliers and say, "I want the best tuna in the world," when it comes through the door, just slice it up and give it to them. So just leave it alone, man. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, isn't it?
That is quite a Japanese way of doing stuff. Is like, what's in season? What's the like good locally, because it's just what's available at the moment and that's fresh. And just don't mess about with it too much and sort of present it. Yeah, exactly. And if it's not in season or it's not fresh or it happens to not be good today, give them something else, you know?
Yeah, we're in another push in 2023 to strip back even more. I mean, the food's simple as fuck anyway, but I want to strip it even more. Like, just get rid of it. It doesn't need it. Like, we've just put a new beef dish on, which is the A5 rib, and we're brining it in cherry coke overnight. Of course. And then pot roasting it in like a cherry coke dashi. And then it's just flashing it all the barbecue and then just slicing it and putting some cherry barbecue sauce on it, like a Japanese barbecue sauce.
Oh yeah.
And that's in a bit of toragashi chef, you know what I mean? Like bit of sushi stew on there. And that's it. And it's just like, oh, does it need anything else? No, it used to have like a salad thing on top of that, and just get rid of it, man. It doesn't need it. The beef is fucking amazing. You know what I mean? The sauce is amazing. That little bit of chili from you guys is incredible. Like, that's all it needs. Just leave it alone.
Do you think it's part of growth though? Is like
maturity and confidence.
You're striving to like, we've got to get somewhere. And when perhaps you've got there, you're like, we probably didn't need half of the things that we put through at it.
You've got to do it first before you've got to do. I have a motto in the kitchen, like, you've got to do it wrong before you can do it right. Like, prepared to be making mistakes. Like, don't be scared. Like, we have like little training sessions in the kitchen where we all, like, after work at night time when there's no stress, we get all the fish out and we all have a fish each and we prep them together and I show them step by step how to do it. And they're like fucking shaking like that, they never do it. I'm like, this, chill out, man, you're going to fuck it up. You're going to. You know what I mean? But in 20 years time, if you're still fucking up, then there's a problem. But this is the first time you've ever touched an amachi or a madai or whatever else you're prepping. You're going to mess it up, you're going to get it wrong. But that's part of learning. You've got to get it wrong before you can get it right. None of us are born superstars. None of us have been walked into a kitchen and instantly been the best chef in the world. We've all been garbage at some point. But it's about growth and learning and, you know, mastering your craft, isn't it? It's all about, I'm 42-year-old this year or whatever, I can't remember all of it. I would only say in the last 6 years of my career, I've become a decent chef. Before then, I was still learning. I'm still learning now. I mean, you're always learning, every day you're learning. But now I'm in the point in my career now where I've been cooking for 25 years. I'm confident with what I do. You know, so that means that you just cook a piece of beef and put it on a plate and put some sauce on it because you know it's incredible. You know that piece of beef is the best beef in the world. Leave it alone. It doesn't need to be fucked around with.
But a lot of the effort's been put in from a supplier or a producer point of view. Like, why is that beef so tasty?
It's been fed and grown and loved for 5 years. Like Wagyu beef is like they're old animals. Like, they're grown, they're big, they've got loads of fat on them and loads of age and loads of. They've been fed. They've got a great diet, so they taste amazing. Like, you don't need to do anything else with it.
Because you use proper Japanese grown, Japanese reared A5 Wagyu, like the real deal.
Yeah, exactly.
And because I went to the Wagyu farms before COVID over in Gunma, Takasaki. Yeah. And to understand what it's actually, the difference between what people say is Wagyu and like what is the official Wagyu. Yeah. I mean, Wagyu has to come from Japan. Otherwise
it has to. It's a bastardised word, isn't it? Like,
but you know what? First of all, this may not be true, but when I went to there's a place called the Tokyo Meat Academy. Yeah. And God damn it, did I want one of their bomber jackets? Tokyo Meat Academy. Oh mate, it was a white silk jacket. Yeah. Bomber jacket.
I want one. Them, I'll have them.
They're all about that big though.
Oh, yeah, you don't think
fit? Yeah. Okay, just for me. Okay,
get one for you, one for Carl.
Yeah, we can swap.
You can swap, yeah. You can argue which one fits better.
But they said to me that a female cow has never left Japan.
And I've heard the same story.
Right.
The DNA
so how does that work?
DNA from Japanese beef, as far as I know, I'm not an expert, has never left Japan.
So that's one point.
Yeah.
Point two, the diet that they're reared on is part of the Japanese food industry. So they're not just eating grass or
It's a
whatever
byproduct
grain.
from their industry.
Yeah, you're getting the husk from soybeans, you're getting the leftover grass from growing the rice, you're getting the rice mash from the sake industry.
The mash,
so they're eating essentially the Japanese tewa. I always get that word wrong.
And I'm sure the word Wagyu translates into Japanese beef.
Well, gyu means is the word, one of the words for beef or cow.
Yeah.
And wa often in Japanese is sort of like hours or like things like washoku means like cooking Japanese food in a traditional way. That wa word is it's not a word, but it sort of gets associated with it. Because they're a black cow, really, aren't they?
Yeah, they're like a Welsh black, aren't they?
Yeah.
But a Welsh black's a Welsh black, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not a Welsh black if it's never left Wales and it lives in Japan.
Yeah, and it eats completely different.
It's a black cow, isn't it?
Eats completely different things and raised in a different way. So that's point 2, but there's a point 3 as well. So the Japanese grading system, and it's not just beef, it's loads of different things. Yeah. The grading system is so accurate, and there's so much trust within that, then that actually is really important. So if you're having your Wagyu, you sell A5, which is, if it's like a square of marbling and meat score, you don't have to get A5, you can get F5 or you could get A1, and there's a lot of things on that grid.
It's a huge grid, isn't it?
I've
seen it,
but from an export point of view, it kind of makes sense to send the A5, 4, 3 over to Europe and maybe America. But, you can get like cheap Wagyu in Japan, they just don't export it.
It's an animal, it's not like, doesn't come off production line.
That's right, they're all completely different, but they grade it so accurately. And you know that if it's an A5 rib or if it's an A5 sirloin, then it's going to be a bloody A5 sirloin. And you ain't mincing that up and putting it into a burger, it'd be rank.
I like it when they pop in a little A5 plus, mate.
Oh,
I like that plus. Where's that
they don't
plus
charge you extra for the plus,
where's that plus come from?
I don't know.
How did they work that one out?
I think it's like when they turn the amp up to 11 because it's louder than 10. Yeah, I think it's
You've got to carry the cow into the abattoir because they cannot walk.
So, anyway, enough Wagyu.
We could do this all day.
Enough Wagyu chat. Going back to what you were saying before about you were taking the guys in and putting all the fish out and saying, relax, don't worry about making mistakes, but get involved in it. Do you think that that's more important these days because we've lost so many chefs after COVID, and when people came back, the industry had changed and people had to do things in a different way, and there's been seems to be everyone's on a high turnover of chefs still, and I think that's not going to settle down for a while. So everyone constantly needs to be on this training.
And kitchens are very different now. Technology,
even since COVID.
Even in the 25 years I've been in it. I always reminisce with the boys. I love talking about my career with them. Because it's all about learning, isn't it? It's all about teaching. And I talk a lot about Hambleton Hall, where I did my training. So I worked there for 5.5, 6 years, whatever. And when I worked there, it was a different world. And I always say, I'd love to have had a head camera on at that point and recorded the whole 5 years. Or just a video that I could sit everyone down and watch it together, because I can't even remember a lot of it now, but everything about it was just incredible, and it's the most important. There's been two really important parts of my life in this industry. But Hambleton taught me how to cook, it taught me how to respect ingredients, taught me how to use the best ingredients, how to love ingredients, how to cook, you'd get whole animals in the door, you'd be breaking them down. You'd be using every part. You'd be cooking in a pan, on the stove, gas stove, with a grill and an oven, touch, feel, senses. None of this, I'm going to put it in a bag and I'm going to drop it in that water bath there and I'm going to leave it until I need it. It's like cooking, proper cooking, 52 covers for dinner, your own sauce. It's assiete fucking every animal under the sun. You know what I mean? You're cooking a rabbit, you're cooking all of the rabbit for one dish, for one person, hare, chicken, whatever, beef, and it's just that whole, learning how to cook. If the electricity went off here tomorrow, I could still cook our menu. I've done it on a camping stove with a head torch on. Feeling, touching, resting, it's hard at first, but you get back into the rhythm and you learn it. And I always say, I'd love to take these guys to learn that, because they don't, they look at you they don't believe you. You know what I mean? And it's me, I wish I could still do it, because it's so important. And that's what I'm trying to bring. I can't do it 100% here because we don't cook like that anymore. Even we don't cook like that anymore. But if I get a chance to show somebody how to break a whole lamb down, I'll do it. I'll get everybody together and I'll do it. If I get a chance to break a whole fish down, I'll do it with them. And and it's important because there's not many of them skills left to teach people in a kitchen like ours. You know, if you go to a real classic kitchen that's still running that way, then that's amazing. But there's not many of them to be found anymore, you know. And it's a shame, I think, sometimes.
Why do you reckon that is?
Because things move on, don't they? Technology comes in, like water baths have, like if you're short-staffed, which a lot of people are, a water bath or a rational oven or whatever other modern day technology in the kitchen will save your life, because you could have all your meat bagged up and you could drop it into the bath. There's one chef gone, stuff like that. So it makes life easier. There's a lot of stuff in place now to make life easier, you know. But
also almost by necessity with the nature of
listen, like the industry, it isn't the same anymore. It's tough, you know. Like it's people don't want to do it because of the long hours, which is fair. Like, you know, there's been a big reality check with the whole pandemic thing. People have gone, do you know what? I've just spent a year with my family. I actually quite like them. You know what I mean?
Sure,
I quite like my kids. They're awesome. I'm going to change my life and I'm going to spend some time with them, because why not? Like it's life. Like life is short, man. You know what I mean? And you get to the other end and you think, do you know what? Why did I work 18 hours a day all my life and then saw my kids, and then now they're like 20, they don't want to know me anymore because they've got their own family. So now I've lost all of that. You know,
there is easier ways to make money than being a chef.
There is, yeah. People like look at you all the time and think, oh, they're millionaires, them guys. Like people like, this is an expensive restaurant, don't get me wrong, but it costs an absolute fortune to run. People would be shocked. You know what I mean? If someone ever says to me like, oh, it's expensive here, you must be making a fortune. I say, tell you what, I'll gear it for a month, you run it. You'll be giving it back in 2 weeks. Probably not even that. You see the bills. Jesus Christ. Because we buy in the best. The reason why the menu is so expensive is because we buy in the best ingredients in the world. You know, N25 caviar doesn't come fucking cheap.
No.
It's expensive.
Well, if you're talking about, going back to talking about soy sauce,
yeah,
it's not like you're buying...
No, Kikkoman's off the shelf. We're buying the best soy sauce in the world, chef. You know how much that costs.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's in... And
but you know why that is as well. Like, it's explaining that to a layman, isn't it? It's like, okay, if you want to put... We're just talking about soy sauce because that's my bag. But, like, you can put mass-produced product on the menu. You know, maybe that's fine. But to get those marginal gains up to that level, the effort that's gone in from you to find the supplier, from us to go and find the producers in Japan and make those relationships with the families and the people who are doing it, and from their point of view, they've had like the soy sauce producers just under 400 years of family heritage, and the effort
exactly
to put into that one thing, it's going to cost something, innit?
And as a chef, it just makes you feel better about what you do.
Right.
Like, you're using the best. It makes you feel better. It's like you've got a connection to all of that. Like, I can't wait for us to go out there. And I want to meet these guys. Because then I've got a connection with that bottle of soy sauce I've got in my hand. At the moment, I've got you. But I want to get straight to source. I want to see where the beef come from. I want to see where the soy sauce comes from. I want to see where the rice comes from and all the rest of it. Because then I've got that connection. Like, and it's a thing that I love to have. I don't want to just use an ingredient and like, if one of the boys goes to me, oh, what's this, chef? I don't know. That's the
good thing with using local, I suppose. Like, obviously the soy sauce is not local, so you've got that connection to make. But so, for example, you are using like is it the guy who's the guy who makes your knives? Lee. Lee, yeah.
He lives here. He's here
every
day.
So there's a great connection. You understand why that knife.
Yeah, my lamb. I know the butcher. He takes me to the field and goes, your lamb's coming out of there this month. My fish supplier, who gets me my local shrimps and crabs and lobsters, he's in here every day going, I'm going out on the boat tomorrow, what are you looking for? I want 100 lobsters. Got the -80 freezer. I can freeze lobsters down for the whole year. They don't go anywhere, and it obviously does all the denurturing and, you know, it gives you that opportunity to eat them raw, out the shell without cooking, you know. So I have that thing, like people go, oh, local, like I had somebody in the restaurant the other day going, why are you buying Japanese fish? Because it's the best. Like, I had my fish supplier on the phone this morning going to me, where are you getting your amachi from? I went, Japan. She went, okay, I'll not have any more conversation then. Because she had some amachi that she must have got from somewhere. But she's obviously, straight away, I've gone Japan, she's gone, well, we can't compete with that.
Right.
You won't be interested. You know what I mean? And it's the same when she rang me the other week, they had a tuna caught off the coast of Cornwall. It's amazing, I love that. It's incredible, yeah? But she said, "Oh, where do you get your tuna from?" I said, "I'm getting straight from Japan at the moment." She went, "Right, well, you won't be interested in this then," because she knows it's not the fucking same product, and it's great to have it, and I love it. Like if that's what you want to do, that's amazing. But like in my personal opinion and what I believe in is if it's local and it's incredible, I use it, you know. But if it's just local and it's just local, why use it if I can get better from?
Well, it's not what your project's about
Exactly,
here, is it?
this
Your
is
project's about going as far as you can.
Yeah, I want to get to the end of my career cooking and go, do you know what? I've got no regrets. I've done everything I can. I've cooked with the best ingredients I can find on this planet. I've cooked it to the best of my ability. Whatever has happened, whether I've got 3 stars or the best chef in the world or whatever else or nothing, I've done it my way and I've done it 100%, and I can hold my hands up and go, do you know what? I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to move to fucking Ibiza. And I'll live there for the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
You're not allowed to go to Ibiza.
Yeah,
because I'm not driving to Ibiza.
Yeah, mate, you'll be there, don't you? And that's it. I don't want to sit there going, oh fuck, you know what? I wish I'd used that beef, or I wish I'd used that tuna instead. You know, because if you, it's like for instance, I said about the beef dish before, that piece of braised rib. Now, if I was to do 2 dishes next to each other, same dish, with a piece of really cheap rib and a piece of A5 rib, and really cheap soy sauce instead of your soy sauce, and all the rest of the ingredients, put them 2 down in front of you, put a blindfold on you, you'd eat them and go, you'd go, that one's incredible. What is that other dish? You probably wouldn't be able to eat the beef for a start because it would be tough as fuck. You know what I mean? There's a reason why you can braise a piece of A5 for 3 hours rather than 20 hours.
Yeah.
It's because it's that good. You know? And yeah, it's the whole, like, the better the ingredients are, the simpler you can make it. And
so you can't do your stripping back that you're wanting to do unless you're carrying on going down this road of like product excellence, I guess you could say.
I mean, you could do, but it wouldn't be very good.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, isn't it? You could do if you wanted to, but it would be shit.
So what dishes are we going to have a go at today?
So I'm going to do some aged hamachi, and then the second one's going to be barbecued scallop. So you've just got this incredible like scallop gravy with a barbecued scallop with A5 beef fat in it, just because you can.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, chef, I mean, it looks mega.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had it here a load of times, but it looks different again.
Very, yeah.
So just like, just tell me a bit about it.
So it's Japanese hamachi, yellowtail, what we spoke about before. This has been obviously in the -80 freezer. And then we age it for about a week in the salt chamber. And then, like you saw, we just literally prep it, slice it. It's incredible. You haven't got to do anything to it.
Is this part of you stripping back?
Yeah, exactly. And then it's just dressed with a tari. So a tari is like, you know what a tari is?
Yeah, it's kind of like a sauce, but...
Yeah. We make a white one with all white ingredients. So instead of using soy sauce, it's white soy sauce, you know, and mirin, and so it's a white tari, it's lighter.
I actually tried a little spoon in the kitchen on the cheek it, and it's like...
It's insane, yeah.
It's a little bit boozy, a little bit sesame, a little bit soy,
mirin
salty.
I get from here, yeah. And then we split it with a shit hot roasted number 2 sesame oil from you, obviously. And then a bit of white turnip, some grated sesame seeds over the top, and some shit hot nori, which was.
And this is that nori that's like, it just the flavour of it's like unbelievable, isn't it?
So it's just a plate of incredible ingredients, isn't it? Like how simple it is, but because the ingredients are incredible, you've got to do nothing to them.
Can we have a go?
Let's do it. Should we do it? Oh yeah.
I mean, if you just talk about the ingredients like we just did, you know it's going to work.
Yeah.
As long as everything's good, you don't need to overcomplicate that, do you?
It's like, just leave it alone, innit? Like that flavour you get from that fish.
Once
it's exploded in your mouth, because that texture's like jelly. It's all the fat from that fish just sticks to your mouth. And it's just that incredible, then all the other flavours come in behind it, because that catches all the other flavours. That's what, like, that whole
What would you say to someone who says, oh, I can't deal with raw fish? Or like, because your old saying was meat, what was the old one?
It was like fat-fueled meat obsessed, wasn't it? Like flavour-driven,
But now now almost everything's
protein.
fish.
Yeah. The amount of people that come here and go, I don't eat fish. I can't eat fish, I've never liked fish. especially not raw fish. Ooh. And then they come to the end of the meal and they're like, that was fucking amazing. It's because, like what I said earlier about amazing ingredients and crap ingredients, I'm not saying they've had it or whatever, but 9 times out of 10 it's because they've had something not very good and it's a bad experience.
You give them that. Fishy, does it?
Yeah, you give them that. That's not fishy. It's delicious because it's the best in the world, and when you eat it, you're like, oh my god, that's not what I thought fish was, because it's not. Just give it another go, innit? The amount of people that come in and just are blown away by it. You know, I mean, it's just insane, isn't it?
I mean, how many people have tried -80 lobster before? That's raw.
Not many.
No. So you've got to be a little bit open-minded.
Got to drink the juice, haven't you?
I was going to say, mate, I'm going to have this juicy juice.
Like an oyster shell.
A big one.
Yeah. Well,
it's so fit, mate. That the sauce on its own is like, I could drink a pint of that.
It's just simple, isn't it? It's just so delicious and simple.
You'd want to eat about 50 of those, though, wouldn't you, in a go?
It's kind of that is like, I toyed on there. I ate at a Reiki a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I was fucking blown away by like nigiri, because it's the first time I'd ever had proper nigiri, and it like blew my mind.
Especially with the sort of like the seasoned rice.
Yeah, and I got back and I was like, I'm going to turn my restaurant into everything nigiri. And then I thought, because imagine doing that, it would be incredible. Bit of rice, bang, in your mouth, it'd be insane.
Yeah.
But then I thought, like, do you know what? These guys train for decades to be able to do what they do. It's like, I'm not a fucking nigiri chef, I'm not a sushi chef. Like, it would be a bit insulting, I think, and it'd be a bit like, it's not what we do. So like, that is my interpretation of what I tried. Of
the flavours that you were like, that's the thing. Because you like, obviously when you go to like a kaiseki restaurant or a omakase sushi restaurant where it's counter service and it goes through the night, you do get other dishes as well that are not sushi, but really you want to like, get me to the good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So that is my interpretation of it, which is like, it's just super simple. Just, it's all about that fish and just giving it a few ingredients. I just let it shine.
You know, we're talking about not knowing the ingredients. So I suppose there's a few stages to it, isn't there? It's like being aware of the ingredient.
Yeah.
Not maybe, you just say soy sauce in general, going back to soy sauce again. Then finding a good one that you know about, then finding the best one.
Yeah.
But then the next stage of knowing it is to sort of like, I think you can do so much research with reading and using it, but you kind of need to go to the source, so to speak, and speak to the people who've got their like, heritage behind it. I went to a nori factory last month near Mount Fuji. Unbelievable, and it's great. And they're all grading the nori and all doing all these cool things with it, roasting it, and all these. There's all these people who work there all their life have just been sort of grading nori, and to have a little chat with them about stuff. It's just.
Nori's
just unlocks it all.
Yeah.
You nori, like nori. You use quite
nori's
a
nori, isn't it? Like people think, oh, it's just nori. Like, why? How much? Wait, why? What are you doing? And then they go, oh, right, yeah.
I'll tell you the reason.
That's why. You know, and I took some nori. I went and cooked down in Bristol with Peter and Josh Eggleton for his new opening of his restaurant, Pony Trap, last week. And I gave them a piece of nori, and they were like, what the fuck is that?
Is it the one with the tin?
Yeah, you're the best chef. You know what I mean? And they're like, what is that, chef? I'm like, it's nori. And he's like, well, I've never had nori like that. Because you haven't. You just think nori's nori and it comes out that packet. You know, but it's not, is it? Like,
it's a beautiful thing.
We know it's not. And you taste good nori and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? And that's what it is. And it's like, you taste a normal piece of nori and you're just like, yeah, it's a bit nori.
You've got a dish where you blitz that and put it over as a tuna.
Yeah.
And it looks like green chrome.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
It's outrageous, mate. And it's like, and then you're like, how much is that? And you're like, you tell them and they're like,
sorry about that.
Fuck that, I'm not using that. But that's the difference, isn't it?
Again, this is these guys who well, the nori industry is like symbiotic with there's the harvesting people, there's a guy who sets up the farm, there's the drying factory, there's the roasting factory, there's the grading people, it's all sorts of stuff to it. There's loads to it. So like, you know, if you go out and buy A grade nori, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
If I say it's A grade, it's A grade. If he says it's A grade, is it? I don't know. But so you go out there and you try all this nori, but the place that we get our nori from, our own brand one, the Shockening one, They are called, there's 3 main nori families, and they're not just like competing against each other. They are the protectors of nori for Japan.
Unbelievable.
Is that cool or what?
Rings, isn't it?
Right.
Protectors of the ring.
The nori of power.
The nori of power.
Yeah. We've got a sake that's coming on soon, and it's 24 generations have passed it down since the 1400s.
It's outrageous.
How can you even get your head around that?
Yeah, imagine having a restaurant that was that many generations. It doesn't exist, does it?
Yeah.
Bonwick will have it because he's got like 1 million kids, hasn't he?
It sounds like I'm obsessed with Japan, which I kind of am.
I am.
But I kind of, it's almost more from a sort of like, we ought to do something like that. It's more of like, I want Britain to have a go at being better. It's all about
culture, isn't it? And we have that culture doesn't exist here, where it does there, and it's part of their life, and it's just their day to day, isn't it? It's how they get on with everything they do. So it's you're never going to instill that culture here because it just won't catch on.
I think you take elements from it.
You can.
I don't want to.
People will.
I don't think we don't think they're perfect. I don't think we're perfect.
There's
definitely a great cultural exchange.
It's different, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like it is a great cultural exchange. That's a great idea because I get people all the time saying, "Oh, I've been to Japan," and because we always get to, "Oh, this is Japanese." It's not Japanese at all. You know what I mean? We're not a Japanese restaurant. I've never fucking worked in Japan. I've never trained in Japan. I'll never ever call myself Japanese chef because that's disrespectful. I think for what they do. But I just cook the food I love to eat, and I love Japanese food, I love Chinese food, I love Asian food, I love Thai food, Korean, and it's all on the menu, it's all there. Everyone just puts it into the Japanese box because it's easier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not at all, it's just you get a bit of everything. And it's because I love it, and they're the flavours I love, But it's not, I'm not saying it's authentic or original or anything, it's just I might have the katsu curry and think, I've never been to Japan had a katsu curry, but I've had a katsu curry and gone, fuck, I love katsu, I'm going to do my own katsu curry. So then I've got to then talk to you and go, I want the best katsu curry powder, I want the best curry powder. I've seen this one, S&B, is it amazing? Oh yeah, I can get that for you. You know what I mean? Then it's like bang. And then this original, authentic Japanese S&B curry powder. Because
S&B is like the cheap, there's the cheap wasabi paste as well. But they've got like, traditionally they were a spice maker and it's got that old, lovely red tin with all the old-fashioned rice.
Yeah, and it's just like, I want that. That is the authentic.
And then there's the garam masala that we've got, didn't they? That was cool. That's like, we put garam masala on a curry. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. That's normal, isn't it?
But that Japanese one is just...
It's just different again, isn't it?
You sprinkle that on top, because garam masala, a lot of people don't know this, and you just bang it in. Garam masala is a finishing seasoning. Yeah. It's that little freshness that you need. So you should always add it right at the end of a curry, never at the beginning. You can add a little bit at the beginning if you want, but it's like salt or seasoning or whatever. Like you put it on the end, so we just sprinkle it on top of it just goes boom. It just brings it alive. All that fresh spice and. But you need to have gone. You can't do this overnight. What you're doing, you need to have gone down a long road and spoke to a lot of people, and tasted a lot of food, and cooked a lot of food, and binned a lot of food. And doubted yourself over and over and over again, until you know what I mean. And that's what it is like. You can't do it fast, can you? No, I keep telling these boys like, stop trying to be a head chef. I was a head chef at 31 was when I started here. 31 is old really for now. Like you've got chefs winning stars at like 20 odd, 22, which is a fucking amazing. Don't get me wrong, these guys are talented, but I still wish now I could be a commie all the time. You know what I mean? I was like I'm jealous of these guys come here do starches and I want to do starch. I'm going to do a starch. You know what I mean? But I can't. I've got 3 kids. I've got a business to run. I've got a wife. You know what I mean? I've got so many things going on in life. I ain't got time to do a starch. I'd love to do one. I keep threatening my Birch all the time. I'm going to come and do work in your kitchen for a week. He's I did that here, didn't I? Not. I came and worked here for it. As a bit. It was unbelievable. I did a bit of a thing where I wanted to sort of get my head into what it, because I'm not a chef. And I'd obviously come and see you guys. Your eyes, didn't it? Big time. Yeah. I did a couple of days in Fat Duck, which was amazing. Yeah. And then I was like, right, can I come and work with you guys? I want to get in the kitchen, but I want to I'll do everything. I'll make the butter in the morning. Bit of DJing, obviously, like every chef. But man, it was hard. Yeah. I said I'd do a week, and I think I did 3 days. You dropped out, yeah. You're like, chef, I've got to go home. I've just had a phone call. What's that? Yeah. Oh, what? Jimmy's fallen down the well. I've got to go. I'm off. And you know what? I wasn't even working anywhere near as hard as the guys in the kitchen as well. It's a tough industry. It's graft, and it's like I said before. I know we all you don't know you're born. It's not as hard as it used to be. I've made it easy here now because I can't be asked anymore.
And calm.
You know what I mean? I'm not even joking. That's what it's like. It can be really fucking hard.
Yeah.
It can be really hard, but it's up to you. As like I've tried to make it as simple as possible here in this restaurant, so we can all have a lot of fun.
You changed the opening times, didn't you?
Yeah, I've changed the opening times. Like everyone, we do Tuesday to Friday now, dinner only.
And
so,
you start earlier, don't you, as well?
Yeah, start a bit earlier, but then we've got more time to get it right. We try and have as much fun as possible. Get the food out the door as best as we can, make it incredible, have fun doing it, and go home, and then have a great weekend off. Like we've got Saturday, Sunday, Mondays off now, which is amazing. So if you can have a bit of a life,
like a normal person.
Yeah, and it's like you've got to make it like it. You can stand around and twist and moan as much as you want as a business owner in this industry. Oh, it's all fucked. Can't get any staff. No one wants to work anymore. You can't be like that. You've got to change. Like it's not they need to change. No, they don't. They've changed. The industry's changed. Now us as business owners need to change to make it work for them, because they're the mass. They're the guys that are making this work. Without them, we're fucked.
We're the dinosaurs now, because I'm mid-40s, you're mid-40s, we're not that generation.
We need these guys, so we need to make it more appealing for them to want to work in our restaurants. So we've got to change. We've got to change to make, so how do we make a change? Like, give them the best working environment. Don't work them too hard. Don't have too much stress. Give them good time off. Pay them well. Look after them. Don't treat them like shit. And all them things that are classic in our industry, and opposites of grafting, being beasted, like running to the ground, doing 10 days straight, breakfast, lunch, dinner, all the rest of it. Like, but I mean, don't get me wrong, they mould you into brilliant people, but we've got to do it the same thing. We've got to mould these guys into brilliant chefs or brilliant waiters or whatever else they're in this industry, but just in a different way.
Yeah. Because
we can't do it the old way. It doesn't exist anymore. And it doesn't work. People will be like, you can't speak to me like that, I'm off. You know what I mean? Oh. Yeah, I'm out of here. You can't call me that. Well, who do you think you are? You know what I mean? And that's the thing, innit? You can't pay me this. This is, now you're going to have to take that away, and you're going to need to add a couple of noughts to the end of that and give me it back, because there's not enough there. You know what I mean? And that's what it is, innit? But that's the world we live in now. And things have changed, and we've got to just accept it and move on with it, and grow, instead of standing there just going, well, this is rubbish. You know what I mean? Like,
should we do the next one?
What we got here?
What we got here?
What we got here? Look.
You tell me, mate.
Oh, mate, look at them.
These bowls are cool.
Nearly missed my chair there.
Yeah, you watch out. You'll be careful.
Yeah, these bowls are cool. Like you said about artisan, innit? It's like these guys. Like,
yeah, and bespoke.
Yeah, this is a guy called Alex who he's this guy's incredible. He's going to make everything eventually. And yeah, we had a chat, and he come down and see me, and we just designed these bowls and went from there. They're just outrageous, aren't they?
And everyone's different.
Yeah, everyone's different.
Real thing.
Such a great.
So what is it in the bowl?
So this is scallops from Orkney, and what we've done is -80, like I spoke about in the last video.
Yeah.
-80, and then out.
What does that do when you put them in -80?
It breaks them down. It sweetens them up. It changes the flavour. The texture makes it like jelly. So there's got nothing to give it. Like, it won't tighten up anymore. It breaks all them, like, all the muscles and the sinews and everything down. That tighten. Like when you cook a scallop classic, it'll tighten up. It'll be sometimes quite rubbery. Yeah. These will literally melt in your mouth, like, because you just got nothing left, like Ian Bale. You know what I mean? So it's just like, we pop it into A5 beef fat at 40 degrees for about half an hour, so they just like jelly, and then literally hit them on the barbecue, on and off, bit of smoke, brush them with your famous sweet dashi,
the umami-licious,
which I think I own the whole world's worth. Boys are like, chef,
what are you going to do with it?
We've got shit.
This is the reason you got the land, though, is it's to store crazy amounts of weird things.
Exactly, yeah. So we make a glaze out of that, brush it with a bit of the fat as well, and then the scallop gravy.
Scallop custard.
Scallop gravy, scallop custard, yeah. So just eat the scallop with the tweezers and drink the juice, mate.
Okay, man, let's do it.
Yeah, it's like what we talk about simplicity and stripping back. That is just scallop and beef fat in there.
Yeah, so
That's
I'm going to
all
say,
it is, yeah.
it smells like a roast dinner. Do we have to keep talking?
No, I think you should just go silent and enjoy it. But you don't have to chew it, do you?
No, you crush it.
You know? It's just so incredibly...
So just tell me again, what's in the scallop custard?
The scallop custard is literally, so we take all of the...
It's not custard.
The gubbins, all of the gubbins of the scallop that normally goes in the bin, and we wash it for a couple of hours under cold running water, get it really clean, take out all the bits that you can't eat, and then we freeze it and mince it. So we -80 and mince it, and then we get a pan in the barbecue and beef fat and get it like smoking, and then drop it in and just keep cooking it. Keep putting the lid down, lifting it up, giving it a bit of smoke, get some birch in there until it's just...
Birch syrup?
No, birch wood, dried birch, to get that sweet smoke. And then until you've got basically your stock, and then you squeeze it out with a press, you every last bit, and then reduce it down till it tastes incredible. Season it with a bit of dashi, some salt, and then just blitz it in so you've got the beef fat in there as well. It's just so simple.
Yeah. Sweet gravy.
Sweet love.
We were chatting about this. We went for dinner at Sats, didn't we, a few weeks ago, or maybe a month ago now. And we took the lads, and afterwards we went to his cigar shed in the back till about 3 in the morning, and
3, 4 in the morning,
we were just having a good chat about how like you've got to be completely different with your team now, and he was saying all his team's completely different than what it used to be when you worked there all those years ago.
It was brutal when I worked there. You know, I remember sitting and watching it because we were lucky enough to have the chef's table, weren't we?
Yeah.
And I was watching and listening to the kitchen, and I was like, this is a very different world now, 10 years down the line in this restaurant, you know. And like I talked about the 2 biggest influences in my career. Like Sat Baines, the influence there is mind blowing. I could cook when I got there. You weren't teaching me how to cook any better because I could cook. Like Hambleton and Aaron had taught me that, you know, and like that is invaluable. But to open up your mind to food, to ingredients and cooking techniques and flavour, that guy is like the best. You know, he will push you and he will open you up and he will remold you into a beast. You know what I mean? Into something amazing. And I wouldn't be sat here without them 2 restaurants. Like, you know, like I came away from Sats 3 years after being there, and I was ready for life. I was ready for the challenge. I was ready to go. You know, I knew I was ready for it. And I haven't stopped. It's just been 100% forward all the way. You know what I mean? I've got huge respect for it. Like,
so it's important for these young guys who are coming through to sort of think about what they're doing on the route.
As much as you can, plan your route through and get what you want out of restaurants. In my opinion, and it's just my opinion, you've got to stay somewhere for 3 years. The first year, you're all over the shop. You don't know what's going on. You get to the end of your first year. Second year, you start to settle down. You start to know where everything is, what people want, the standard. Then you'll have a second year of like learning, and then the third year is like just solidifying who you are. And like pushing that extra mile, maybe coming up with the ideas from what you've learned in that restaurant and start to play with ingredients, or, you know, being just brilliant at everything in that restaurant, you know. And then after that, if you want to stay longer, that's great. But you've taken everything. In 3 years, you're going to be a different chef from you were 3 years ago.
You're also not letting your employer down.
Exactly.
And because they need you as much as you need the job.
There's a lot of investment goes into your staff, you know, and people don't realise that it costs a lot of money, and it is a lot of like knowledge goes into these people, you know. And it's nice when they stay longer, like Corin and Lewis and people like that have been with me for a long time, and it's great. Like they've given back 100% now. They've given. It's not a two like they're obviously working for me. They're doing a job. I'm paying them for that, and that's great. But if you stay that time, you start giving something back to the restaurant, which is amazing, isn't it? You start giving something back, and that's what I think it's nice to like give each other something. Yeah, I've given you, I've employed you, you've come to work here, I've paid you for it, but I've given you everything from me. I've given you all my knowledge. You take everything. If you want it, it's yours. There you go. I'm hiding nothing from you.
That's new from the previous generation to you, isn't it? Because everything was hidden before that, wasn't it?
We have a laptop in the kitchen with all of the recipes on. They're there. You know, take them.
Yeah.
It's yours. I'm not hiding anything from you. I don't have a secret recipe book in the corner. I don't work secretly on my own doing stuff. You know, I teach everybody. I want everybody in my kitchen to know everything. If I drop down dead tomorrow, I want the kitchen to carry on. Amelia and Carl and my 2 kids, Martha Meredith and that, they need food in their bellies. They need to, like, this restaurant can't close. So if I hide everything from them, they're just going to stand there and go, well, what do I do now? Gaz is not here. The restaurant would be absolutely fine without me. Probably be a bit more room. Like, I get it how it used to be. It used to be that military, like, you can't even smile, I'm going to whack you on the back of the head with a pan. And something like that. That's like the old-fashioned mentality, innit? Like, and it had its place and it did its job and that's the way it was, but it's not like that anymore.
You're saying fun dine, not fine dine, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, let's just have a laugh. Because...
But there's excellence in all of that though, isn't there? It's not like...
It's got to be amazing.
Right.
Because if you're having a laugh...
So you've done the standards and that allows you to then have fun around it.
Yeah. If you're having a laugh and it's dog shit...
There's work to be done.
You're lying, aren't you, and you're fucked and you're being a twat. If you're having a laugh, like, the customers come in the kitchen and like, I've seen a lot of kitchens and I used to work in them and like, I can't believe how calm it is.
Well, you told me that
like,
it used to be a bit shouty.
Yeah, it used to be horrible. But I'd come out the back of that, like, and I had to change. Like, when I first started here, I had no staff. I used to blame it, the staff are all, I can't believe they can't hack it. And then I sat down one day after having an horrendous day at work because I'd been on my own. You know, we had a star, just got a star. I was on my own in the kitchen. I was working 7 days a week for the first 3 years. You know, it nearly killed me. And I sat on the floor in the kitchen after a day, right, where I'd had to do everything on my own. And the kitchen was bomb site. The pot wash was a mile high. It was like 12 o'clock at night, and I knew I wasn't getting out for another 4 hours because I had loads to do. And I had the next day to think about as well. And I was sat there and I think, what is going on here? Like, we've just won a star. I've got no chefs. I'm having to do everything on my own. It's absolute carnage. Like, what the fuck is happening? Like, why is it like this? And I had a bit of a cry, as you do. And I realised that it was me. And
An horrible bastard.
Yeah. And there's a reason why there's nobody here, because I'm horrible. And no one wants to work for me. You know what I mean? So what do? I've got to change. Because, you know, and because otherwise I'm never going to have anybody and I'm just going to fucking die where I'm sat right now. Because I'm just going to work myself that hard. So then you've got to change. And from that moment on, you've just got to breathe. You've got to accept that people make mistakes, because they do. You know, you've got to push forward, like, you've got to train people. You can't do everything yourself. And the progression is incredible once you do that.
I was going to say, interesting that you were working as hard as you possibly could and you were going nowhere. Well, obviously you got the star, but I mean, like, you felt like you were going nowhere. You were certainly going to drive off a cliff.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you was like, I'm not going to work as hard. I'm going to be nicer. I'm going to be much more chilled out. And then magically...
Yeah, you get some staff, you delegate, you start to show people, start to train people, give them some love. All of a sudden the restaurant grows, things get better. Then you're like, oh my God, look at this, what's happening now? I've got fucking 2 staff. Never had that before. It's amazing. Now we can start making it even better.
Were you happier about getting 2 stars or 2 staff?
2 staff, definitely. No.
You know what was interesting, you were saying earlier on about, you know, don't try and be a head chef straight away.
Yeah.
One thing I think that we ought to do a bit more of is be really good at whatever we're doing.
Master
So if you're the guy who's...
craft.
Yeah, if you're the guy who's the CDP, or if you're the guy who's the KP,
or
if you're the guy who's the, you know, the onion chopper, make those onions
the
better.
best chopped onions you've ever done.
If the head chef can come and chop onions better than you,
yeah.
I mean, that's not good, is it?
No. You've got to be the best at everything. You've got to make yourself the best. You've got to learn, like, don't rush it. You know, use somebody else's facilities and somebody else's knowledge and time and just make yourself better, innit?
The good thing, that's a really good point, because let's say the dreams come true for this guy that we're talking about, this theoretical chef, and he's got his own place and he's put his own money into it.
Yeah.
Chances are that he's going to work those 7 days sat on the floor crying like you were and not get paid for it and in fact lose money.
Yeah.
Whereas if you turn up to work working with someone else, you get paid, you go home.
Yeah, exactly. And you can take everything you want from it, strip it, you know what I mean? Take everything. It's like you were at Nathan's yesterday. Nathan worked with me for 5 years. You know, he's learned everything. He took everything from Ynyshir. You know, he took as much as possible. You know, he helped me he helped me grow Ynyshir. Like, he's like my brother. I love the guy to bits, and like watching him do what he does is incredible. I'm super proud of him, because he didn't work here for 6 months and then just go down the road and open a restaurant. He did his time. You know, he helped me. He give back, like I said. He give back to the restaurant a tenfold. You know, and it's like, that is amazing, isn't it? Isn't it incredible? Like, and I am so proud of him. Like, I love watching what he's doing. Like, I love seeing the little guide come out on the internet and seeing where he is. I'm like, God, yes. You know what I mean? Like, he's smashing it. I get a huge kick out of that. I get a huge pride out of people being here and doing this, and then going on and doing something else and being amazing. You know, and because it's that little bit of Ynyshir in there. This is a beautiful part of Wales that a lot of people don't know about. You get up the road, right, there's a pub called the Brigands Inn. I don't know if you came in that way.
We've come from both ways, actually.
Yeah. So there's a roundabout there, right? And one morning, right, we would go to see my kids like we normally do on days off, like dead early in the morning, 7 o'clock, in the height of summer, right, a good few years ago. And you get to that roundabout, right, and you can either turn left or right. Now, left brings you here, and right takes you to Snowdon and all that up there. And that road that comes in past the Brigands is from Birmingham, so it's from the Midlands. And it was absolutely rammed at like 7 o'clock in the morning, right? And every single car was turning right. They're all going to Snowdon and North Wales because it's beautiful and that's where everyone goes. That's the bit about Wales. If you talk about Wales, that's where everyone goes. Or they go to Anglesey. Where's Ynyshir? Never heard of it. You know what I mean? McCuntliffe? Nah, I don't know what you're talking about. Aberystwyth? Oh, I've heard of that. I went there for stag do once. You know what I mean? Like, but no one was turning left. No one was coming this way. You know what I mean?
It's mad, isn't it?
It's crazy, isn't it? But now, people are turning left, chef. You know what I mean? People are turning left because they come into SY23 and then they stay over in Aberystwyth and then they're eating here. And then guess what? They're going to go to McCuntliffe and eat at fucking Gwen.
Yeah.
And then they're going to go home, or they might stick around for another day and go to Abu Dhabi or whatever else. And I'm going to open a pub and they might go to the pub for the night. Then this becomes a week. Then all of a sudden people are spending a week in the most beautiful part of Wales you've ever seen. That people
and it's
don't
not
know
just
about.
a backwater then, is it? And I don't mean that in a disparaging way. I mean it's not somewhere where if you're driving from, you know, like a long way. I've come from Sheffield, so it's like, although it doesn't look long when you look at it in numbers of miles, it's a bugger to get here.
Once you get off the
so it's like 5 hours.
You're knackered.
Yeah, so you kind of want to get here and like you say, spend a bit of time because you've invested all that effort in getting here. Yeah. And if you've got loads of cool stuff to do, and I don't mean importing things from England and taking over Wales, I mean like just enriching the environment with inspirational people, because like you said yesterday, we were at SY23 and you know, you've got Polish guys working there, you've got even got Scousers working
there. Amazing, isn't it?
And Yorkshire people now.
How do you manage that?
You've even got people from Sheffield.
It's because they built that bridge, innit? That bridge in Runcorn where it is. That's let them
is that
all
what
over
it is?
that, isn't
Right,
it?
yeah. So,
you know what I mean? God, not
but
that
it's great, isn't it? And like, if we can keep going and just making more of it, you know. I'm a little bit jealous because where I live, just west of Sheffield, it's really beautiful. But I want more sort of like stuff like this here.
Yeah.
You need to move over.
And the effort, man, is just, it's huge. You can understand why some people like say, you know what, I'm not doing this, I'm giving up. You know what I mean?
You can't be doing this for the money.
You can't.
Because that effort, if you were to write it down or quantify it in some way,
Dude, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Like,
it's an art project, isn't it?
Yeah, media's just done all the budgets for this year, and it's like, right, okay, so you need to be 100% full all the time if you want to make profit. Oh, great, awesome. You know what I mean? So that's not going to happen. So yeah. I mean, we are very lucky to be busy all the time.
We need to ask everyone to come.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to put him on the street.
No, you're not. I've just built a bunker, and you'll live in that. No, it's I mean, it's just. It's a passion project, isn't it? It's all about, it's ego, chef. It is. It's all about satisfying our egos, what we do in our life, you know. And it's nothing else. You know, you're not retiring off this. That's why you need to come up with like what Alex is doing with the chicken shop. That's where you make money. You know, if you knock a few of them out, you'll start making some retirement fund. You know, if it works, you know, and I need to start thinking that, like, how do I I'm going to open a pub and hopefully it'll work and it'll be busy and the overheads will be a bit less than what this doesn't stop. It'd be slower to just burn the money on that fire out there. You know
like
what I mean?
KLF?
Just use it as logs. Just keep chucking it on. You know, because it's just constant. It doesn't stop. You know what I mean? Like, it's every day. It's just more.
And you can't stop either.
No.
You know, like
once you start, we invested too much.
Once you pop, man. Well, you know, you took like. I remember the day you got your second star, and you sent that video, and Lewis was like basically beating everyone up. It was so happy. And the thing is though, like now you've got that second star, they've kind of got you, haven't they?
Got me, yeah.
What can you do?
What can I do? Yeah. We've gone way past that point of no return. Way past it.
The cliff's back there, and you're still driving.
Go, why the fuck did we do this?
You're a machine, mate. Honestly,
it's just it just is what it is now. Isn't it? You can't ever stop. You can't ever go back. It's just constantly forward, isn't it?
I've hit here loads of times, thankfully, and every time I come, obviously we have a chat, but obviously you're doing your job. But the people who come are quite interested, aren't you? Which is allowing you to stick drum and bass records on, to put the disco ball up, to have this fire outside, and everyone sat outside in massive fur coats,
smoking a massive cigar.
It's just mad, isn't
an
it?
Unbelievable cocktail that Rory's knocked up. You know what I mean? It's that 12 or 15, whatever many hours it is of your life where you're just gonna let your hair down, have some fun, forget about everything else in life, and hopefully just have a great time. You know what I mean? And a great experience, and get up in the morning and go. The amount of people that, I mean, like I said, we're not a cheap restaurant. It's fucking expensive to come here. The amount of people that I see in the reception in the morning and checking out going, can I book in for such and such a day?
After they've just paid the bill.
Yeah. And that's, you know what I mean? Like, that's like you're doing something right, isn't it? Like the experience has worked. It's like they've completely immersed themselves in it and they've been blown away by it and it's been such a great experience. They want to bring their best mates to see it because they won't believe the stories I'm going to tell them. They need to see it. So I'm going to book us in for a 4 right now, and we're going to come. You know what I mean? Because I can't stand there and tell them about this because there's just too much to talk about. You know what I mean? I was that pissed I can't remember half of it anyway. And I just remember it being amazing.
You've just got to go and I need to show you.
A fur coat. You know, some luminous cocktail and a massive cigar, that's all I can remember. And then laid out on the grass outside. You know, but you've got to do that, it's part of the experience.
So, just chatting about what we're going to do today, which is we're going to get a couple of dishes up, aren't we?
Yeah,
off the menu. I mean, how many dishes on the menu at the moment? 500? 600?
150.
About 30, and usually around 30-ish,
yeah.
It started off when I came originally about 20, 22.
Yeah. Started off at 7.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's got out of hand.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but like I said though, when it was at 7, there was probably 30 dishes in total, but most of them were on one plate. And then it's all that finding better ingredients, stripping it back, going, does that piece of beef need them 17 million ingredients? There's only one man can pull that off in this country, and that's Michael Wignall, you know what I mean? That guy is incredible at putting a plate of food together that you think, Jesus, there's a lot on there, and then you eat it, and that's actually
just one thing.
Absolutely insane. Yeah, the guy's a legend, he's an unbelievable chef. It's like, does it need all of that stuff? No, it doesn't. Like, break it down. If you've got that piece of beef, just put some sauce on it, give it to them, they'll love it. You know what I mean? And then you can grow the menu, then you can give them an experience.
Yeah, so you've taken, say, 7 dishes, split them apart, put them in a line, created everything around it, the arrival, the whole process of having a brilliant night, essentially.
Yeah.
And although there's a framework, like you can't come before 3,
yeah.
You've got to be out before X.
Yeah.
But it's like a concert, isn't it? You turn up and you've got them.
Yeah, DJs are here, like busting it out every night on the vinyl. I'm currently in the process of designing a new section for him to move him into the kitchen. So he's going to be playing to the crowd. Like, so he'll be at the front. Because it's not about us, it's not about me, you know what I mean? I don't walk around the restaurant serving all the customers talking like we're big chefs hat on and that. I'm just in the back on the barbecue.
Can we get lasers in a smoke machine?
Yeah, man. Definitely. That's the next thing. It's on the list, mate. So he's going to be in front of all of us playing, doing a set to the restaurant. You know, that's the next step.
And then the kitchen's behind
everything's behind him. Food's just coming out from behind the chef. You know what I mean? Behind the DJ, sorry. It's just coming out behind him.
Love it. I think we've done it really, haven't we? I think we've covered it all.
I love you.
Gaz, it's been mega. Thanks so much for your time, mate.
Thank you for coming.
Love you loads.
Love you, mate. Thank you.